So, to help you understand what happens in the brain when PTSD is present, I first need to tell you about our threat system. Is that okay?
Okay.
All of us have an inbuilt alarm system in our bodies that helps us to survive. This system has been in place for millions of years to protect us from danger. And if we didn't have this system in place, there would not be a human race today. So, in the center of our brains, there is this small area here, which is called the amygdala. Now, this is our body's alarm system, which helps our body to react in order to survive. It helps us to focus on the threat and prepares our bodies to cope with the threat by triggering a variety of responses. Can you guess what some of those responses are?
Is it things like increasing our heart rate and our breathing so we can have more oxygen in our muscles?
Yes, and it can also make us feel quite hot and sweaty and tense in our body as all of our large muscles tense up in readiness for action. Here is a handout that explains all these responses. There are four important things to know about this amygdala. Firstly, it's super sensitive. So imagine that you had a smoke alarm installed in your house, and you'd expect it to alarm when it detects smoke. And you also might expect there might be the odd false alarm, such as when you burn the toast. Imagine, however, that this smoke alarm was so super sensitive that it reacted even when you spray deodorant or perfume, or even if you had a barbecue in the garden. Our amygdala is just like this. It will react even if there is no immediately life-threatening triggers, and it might react even when you're just talking on the phone with a difficult customer or when talking in a meeting. Your amygdala doesn't want to miss a thing.
That makes sense. I feel like I jump out of my skin when the door slams.
Exactly. So your amygdala reacts to the slamming of a door and would rather react than not react. That leads us nicely to my second point. The second thing to know is that your amygdala doesn't think first. Sometimes our amygdala will react before it's had a chance to think and check things out. Do you like spiders?
I hate them.
Okay, so you'll be able to relate to my next example then. Have you ever, in the corner of your eye, noticed a little bit of black fluff on the floor?
Yes, I jump.
Exactly. So before you've even turned to check it out, your amygdala tells your body that you're in danger. Your amygdala will respond first, and then your brain will work out whether the situation is actually dangerous. The third point is that it doesn't just react to real or current threats. Do you watch horror movies or thrillers?
Not often, but I do when my partner wants to.
Okay, so have you ever noticed that when the tension in the film ramps up, your body tenses up and your heart beats a little faster?
Yes, sometimes I cover my eyes when I'm watching it, and when I get ready for bed, I have to turn on all the lights. I remember watching Child's Play as a teenager. It terrified me.
So this shows us that the threat doesn't even have to be real for our amygdala to react. You may also notice that if you recall an event from the past that has scared you, your body will also have that same reaction.
Yes, even thinking about Child's Play makes me feel a bit on edge.
So this tells us that our amygdala will react even when we think about something from the past. The fourth thing to know is that it causes us to be hyper-focused. The amygdala stops us from being able to think about anything else but the danger in front of us. If you were walking along in the park, enjoying the fresh air and the trees and the flowers, and suddenly a lion appears in your path, snarling and baring its teeth, your focus would very quickly switch to the lion and nothing else. You'd no longer be looking at those trees and flowers.
I guess that makes sense because we'd need to give the danger our full attention.
You're absolutely right. We've just covered a lot there. What do you think you've learned?
Okay, well, we have this amygdala and it's responsible for triggering our reaction to threat, and that's there to keep us safe. And it responds very easily to things that aren't real dangers, and it has this better safe than sorry approach.
Brilliant. And just to add, it hijacks the rest of your mind, making it difficult to think about anything else. Thank you for bearing with me while I explain that. I know it was a lot of information. Do you have any questions?
I get the stuff about the amygdala, but I'm not sure why my amygdala seems to be so overactive.
Well, I think you'll find the answer to that question when I explain more about PTSD next. Is that okay?